Hi, welcome to the
Not
Maui
yet.
Pono.
Not yet. It's still preparing the live stream. I'll give you the signal.
Okay.
Okay, and we're live.
Aloha. Welcome to the Maui Pono Network. This is the third interview we're having with kind of a meet and greet where you get to know personally some of the new candidates that'll be running for our offices here in Maui County. Next, starting this coming Thursday, the 30th, we're going to be having interviews with all the candidates that have contested races. So we'll be starting with District 8, and that'll start at 5 p.m. on Thursday. And it'll be broadcast on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and also Akaku. So it'll be really accessible. We'll also have then taped versions here on the site. And also you can go and access, I think, a very important talk by Tina Wildberger about really the transition that we're facing as a community and how important it is right now for us to work and together and also understand, especially the candidates that we are going to empower in this transition. And it's a key time because it's like a blank slate in many ways. So it's so important that we really elect the right people, people who can really support our community and the INA. So with that, I'd like to just briefly introduce then Junya Nakoa, who is running for State Representative District 10. And he's going to give an overview of his background, his passions that he have and why he's running. And that also he's going to talk a little bit about his platform and his social services that he's been involved in. So Nakoa, go ahead. Go ahead, Junya.
Yes, sir. Mahalos. My name is Leonard Nakoa III. Everybody know me as Junya Nakoa. I just like to say howdy to the Maui people, and then especially District 10, Lahaina, Ma'alaya, and Nakihe. Hope everybody stay safe, everybody stay healthy, everybody keeping their social distancing, and don't forget wash your hands. And then yeah, so I kind of went put some stuff in down so I can kind of pay attention to what I'm saying and have my thoughts prepared. But I like talking from my heart, so sometimes I'm gonna just talk. So that's just how it is. And at the end of this, I'm gonna be ready for you guys' questions and all that stuff. Yeah, I went put myself for running for office, and I think I'm ready. But let me talk about my family. I'm a single father of two beautiful daughters. That is my number one prize accomplishment. So those two girls, two of them graduating this year. One from college in Northern Arizona University, and my youngest one is from Lahaina Luna High School. All I need is teach them how to be independent, and you're gonna have to do things on your own and be strong. And the world out there is gonna be their playground, so they give plenty of time to learn. Also, I'm gonna be saying this a lot, practicing aloha aina, because I think it's cherry. That is what we all should be doing. It's very important to me. So I just trying to tell them that's to look into that. Let me get into talking to how I became so active and being the voice of our community. Back in 1998, I was elected union chairman of the ILWU for the unit at Kapalua Land Company, which is managed by Maui Land and Pine. But building my team, I would look for the leaders in each race, the Filipino race, the Tongan race, the Hawaiian race. Also, I would look for like the older guys who was a leader of the older people, and also the young guys, because the older guys they like get retirement. The younger guys, they like more money. So I kind of spread them out. And so I got the leaders of all ethnicities. And by doing that, we will build one of the strongest union units in ILW on Maui. We got 100% strike vote. During contract negotiations, my membership told me they want to full strike because of how disrespected and we wasn't getting treated fairly. And I said, okay, because I got to listen to my members. So I did. So me being a chairman, I went and I filed a 1-day ULP strike, unfair labor practice strike. And we did them when there was a golf tournament. So the management was going crazy because we all not working. So then, so we did the 1-day strike, and we stuck for that whole day. And once we finished, the membership wanted to do it longer. So I was like, oh my God. Okay, so we did it for 5. We ended up doing it for 5 days, with no blessing from the union leadership. We did it, or we did it on our own with the membership, with the people. And so I went listen to the people, and they wanted them, so I did it. And we got what we wanted. We got everything we wanted. We never lose nothing. So I think we benefit out of that one. So with that, I would stand for the people and not for the corporations, for the big corporations. Maui Land and Pine at that time, they was huge. And so I was scared. But ever since then, 20 years I've been involved in campaigns like low-cost housings, fighting for stopping pollutions on the ocean, on the air, and doing all of this just for my community. I never look for get rich or nothing. I just did them because that's what fighting for the community is. We all know when you walk around and everybody say mahalos, and that's what I was doing them for. A lot of these politicians, well, I'm gonna be one pretty soon, hopefully. They always like talk to you when they're running for office, but then when they get in office, they forget you. This guy not gonna forget you. I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy not gonna forget that because all the people I around, period, every day is the guys who gonna get me in office and who I representing. And I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm not gonna forget that for sure. I'm not gonna get bought. My hobbies is I love baseball. And in baseball, you know, I coach baseball. I coach Little League. I coach all the way up to Lahaina Luna. But now I think coaching Little League, and I like to instill teamwork. So with that being said, I need everybody. You know, I need everybody in the community, from the tourism, teachers, police, the ambulance, lifeguards. I need everybody for all of us come together, and we're gonna make Lahaina heard. You know, and I mean, we're gonna make Lahaina heard. And I think we can do them if we all just come together. One other thing that I get into was paddling canoe for Napili Canoe Club. I love the whole paddling thing, but I just hate paddling. I cannot handle. But I love the whole camaraderie, the ohana. You know, how everybody from age 8 all the way up to 80, you know, all at the beach, enjoying each other. And that is like the ohana. That is what canoe is so honor. And that's what, you know, I love about canoe. And being there at the canoe beach, unfortunately, I had one accident where one of our kupunas passed away because a boat when ran him over. And we went stand up strong to fight for the swim buoy from Mala all the way to Black Rock. And I went to the DLNR. I went to the incumbent of District 10 in the state rep and Ross Baker. I went to them and told them, hey, we got to get this thing, the swim buoys out there. And what they said was, oh, no more money. We don't have enough manpower. I said, heck that, this and that. We gotta get it done. Just so happened, a couple of weeks later, they had something at Molokai where they would protect on cruise ship. And all of a sudden, they had police, sheriffs, the FBI, everybody was out there. So then I put pressure on the incumbent from District 10 to why we cannot spend that money to protect our people of Lahaina, like our keikis, our kupunas that swim in these beaches. And then with everybody, and like I said, this is a community effort. It wasn't just the kind, was everybody was putting pressure on our politicians and DLNR. Everybody, the whole Lahaina came together, and you know what? They end up and put the swim buoys back inside. Unfortunately, the baga never make them good, and the thing started floating away. And we're gonna get that fixed, though. We're gonna get that fixed. So that's one thing. What else? I think. And then just recently, the injection wells. The thing went to the Supreme Court. I'm glad that they're seeing the good side about it. You know, and protect our ocean. You know, I'm glad that came out in our favor for protect our waters and our natural resources. But we never have to go that far. I tried to talk to the mayor. I even had the mayor come to Lahaina and talk to the people of Lahaina. And I had arranged a meeting so he could come and talk to the people of Lahaina. And I was glad I took that step because the Lahaina people could have a voice in that injection wells thing. And we all told him for settle, and unfortunately he never listened. And we're here where we are, and we're gonna make sure our waters get clean. We're gonna make sure our waters get clean. That's all we're gonna do. Wow, one of my major passions is housing. Of course, the Hawaiian homes. People who get more than 50% blood quantum should get one house already. You know, I've been on the list for over 20 years. You know what I mean? But there's people who've been on the list way longer than me. And even when I pass away on the list, we got to get our Hawaiians back on Hawaiian lands. And we're going to keep knocking on the doors about that one. And then a couple of years back, I went camp on Kaanapali Beach for 5 days to educate the tourists about the hotels with the agreement that they had with the county was to build workforce housing for the people who work for these hotels, to build the homes, actual homes. But zero has been built, zero. And so I wanted to be on the beach to educate the tourists. And what they did was they went back to the management and said, hey, how come so and so don't have a house? And like that. So I think it worked, you know. And so workforce housing is a big thing. If I get into office, the one thing I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna look up into is the in lieu of and the housing credits. Because when I talk to the county, they say they don't know where it is. They talk to the state guys, they don't know where it is. When I get into office, I'm gonna find out what it is, and I'm gonna know how we can. I tell you, we should get rid of them, but if not, make sure houses get built for the working people. That's the main thing. That's my passion. That's what I do. I go always to the thing. Wow, with this whole housing thing, yeah, that I told you guys about my passion, I got involved with this one developer, Makila Kai. The reason why I'm bringing this thing up is because I was trying to do this private county thing that they keep on saying, you know, county private ownership. Let's get the houses built. So I got involved with that. And by me being involved with the developer, I told him that to make it so where it's the build affordable home first and all of this. And so the project itself was awesome. But the location of the project was a big thing that a lot of the locals never liked. And that would put me on the other side, you know, sitting across these local people. And I felt it. So with that being, I went and learned planning from that. Where we got to look into these entities where the water, the land, the resources before we just think about building homes. And that's why I brought up the Mikila Kai. I mean, I put my feet inside there, tried thinking I'm gonna do the best for the community, but at the same time I learned that water in the rivers is more important than building one house. Yeah, and then education. We gotta take care of teachers. With this pandemic, we all, all us parents now, we're all learning how important these teachers are and how hard they work because we all got to do this thing at home. So this thing is getting kind of crazy. I lucky my daughter senior, so she don't let me help her already. But I can imagine everybody else, So talking to one of the local teachers that live here, she said that they got to do test after test after test just to get higher pay, which is good for our kids, I guess. But at the same time, the DOE with the shortage of teachers, they bring in people from the mainland and they give them premiums so that they can live here and all that stuff. Why we not take care of our local teachers first before we take care of anybody who coming in? And then later on we can I think if they take care of local teachers here, give them fair pay, take care of them, I think we're gonna get more teachers. You know, I think we're gonna get more teachers. So I think our teachers deserve our respect. And then yeah, I'll go back to this tourism thing. Unfortunately, it became our number one industry. Before it was, it was pineapple and sugar cane. Then now it became tourism became our industry. It's very important. But again, with the pandemic, the Baga will educate us that we cannot live on just tourism. So, and then we got to go back like to the good old days where we can take care of our neighbors and all that stuff. In Maui, right now, get the food hubs that, sorry, I'm going to drop your name, Autumn Nest, them, they're doing so good with them. That is awesome. People, all these food hubs coming out, people taking care of each other, taking all agriculture. That is what we got to look into, to making agriculture up there so we can take care of our own. We don't need to be shipping all the food back into Hawaii, and we can take care of ourselves and all of that stuff. And then with this pandemic, we got to make these guys, the tourists, come in very slowly, not all influx one crack, because I small kind in a visitors industry thing, and I go on a website and it's everybody kind of wait till Hawaii open up and they're all coming. So we got an influx of them, so we better be ready. I say we just make them slow, test them before they get on a plane in the mainland, before they get on their plane to come here. Make sure they're all good. They wash their hand and they're social distance, and make sure we take care of that first, because we all do a good job here in Maui. We don't need somebody from the mainland come screwing us up all over. Oh, sorry for making the kind, but yeah, that's a tourism thing. We just take them slowly. The GMO thing was a big one that I want to go help everybody. And again, I vote yes on the GMO thing. I learned because I actually went call up Monsanto and tell them I like come on their property and I like check out their process and how they do everything. In the beginning, they told me, yeah, no problem. Bring a couple guys, bring a video. The day of, they tell me no bring nobody and don't bring a video. And when I seen stuff inside that, because I'm a pesticide operator for a couple of land company, and I knew some of the re-entry thing was wrong. So the Monsanto thing, I was totally against it and all that stuff. But my plan when I get into office, guys, is I'm gonna be one guy who's gonna be walking the halls of the Capitol, gonna be knocking on doors. If they don't open them, I'm gonna make sure they hear me, because what I say is coming from the people of District 10, Lahaina, Ma'alaya, and North Kihei. I'm gonna make sure the Capitol hears us and what we have to say. And in closing, I'm gonna say mahalo to Maui Pono for this opportunity. All I do is ask for you to vote, ask for you guys to support me. Whatever answer you get, I'm gonna answer them with an honest answer. And if I don't know them, I'm gonna look them up, and then I get back to you guys. Mahalo, you guys. Be safe. Yes, sir.
So we have several people on our panel, and if any of you would like to ask a question, just could you just raise your hand a little bit and we can just get you on there. Okay, Autumn, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Junya. So a couple things before I ask a question. I just want to give a shout out to you, because I have the pleasure of working with Junya a little bit on some things. And when he says that he's going to be walking the halls, I fully believe that. I mean, he is the guy that just calls Monsanto up. He is the guy that invites the mayor to Lahaina to talk about injection wells. He is the guy that camps on the beach in front of the hotels to ask, where is our housing, you know? So, and I'm really glad you brought up Makila Kai, because Junya and I are both really, really big housing advocates and also environmentalists. And a lot of times we get unfairly, as the public, asked to choose between housing and environment. And that's a really crappy position to be put in. And I remember when Junya came in to talk about Makila Kai, and it was this, you're right, it was a beautiful project. It was just in the wrong place. And we all learned a lot about that. And I really respect you for putting yourself in the middle of that, because your heart was in the right place and we all learned. So here we are. So I want to ask you, as like a West Sider who's a housing advocate and also Aloha Aina, where do you see housing for the West Side, and what does that look like to you? Like I preface that with, in my experience, developers come from somewhere else and they say, we want to build these California style tract homes in this area, and this is how much we're going to sell them to you for. And like, nobody actually wants those, but that's what we're given, and we're asked to choose that or nothing. So if you had a clean slate from the West Side and you could put your people on the West Side in housing that they want, in a place that they want to live in that's appropriate, like, what does that look like to you in your mind's eye?
Well, a lot of the people from Lahaina, from the West Side,
Yeah,
they pretty much have their kuleana, you know, like their aupoa, where they're from.
yeah,
So pretty much get them back on their land and let them organize what kind of housing they want on it. Maybe they just need 4 walls instead of, you know, fancy stuffs. You know, just put the Hawaiians on the land and let the Hawaiians figure it out. We like you said, we get told what we can have, what we're gonna get, what kind of counters we're gonna get, what kind of roof, you know, all that stuff. We all know the Hawaiians know how to survive, know how to live, know how to take care of themselves. I'm gonna tell you right now, one brother right now, he's building some awesome shelves in his house. Everybody can do this, you know. You're not a brother, they're building one nice place for one community center up there. You know, that's so I say, if you put the Hawaiians back on the land, then we're gonna educate America how it should be done. But again, we're here. You know what I mean? So limited lands, and like you said, the guys from the mainland coming, and they tell us we're gonna make rentals instead of giving us actual homes. So I think it has a lot to do with the politicians. You know, from the county level to the state level, and maybe even the federal level. But I tried my best, like, you know, out of my knock on doors, I was, you know, call up everybody. I'm not scared to call up everybody. Now, me being on the other side, people gonna be calling me, which is awesome. Can't wait till people call me up and start telling me to do something. Oh, yes, sir. You know, yeah. To the question, you know, put the Hawaiians back in the land. We're gonna show America how it's done. But we're not at that point, and we're gonna have to figure out how to get there. And I think, unfortunately, I gotta get in office. Not unfortunately, but I gotta get in office to hear what's going on in the capital. Be the ears, and then so knocking on doors and be the voice and the eyes of the people of Lahaina, the West Maui. And I tell you right now, if I do get in office, everybody gonna hear what's going on, and everybody gonna see what's going on, and they're definitely gonna hear us, gonna hear me. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
thank you.
Yeah, about that.
I've got a question to tag on to that actually, because this Hawaiian housing, Hawaiian homes, the developers. You mentioned Makila Kai. Now I haven't had connection with them, but I have had an experience where I was walking the property lines of this one development in order to look for sacred sites, and I got a chance to speak with this developer heart to heart. And what he told me, you know, you mentioned it's a lot to do with politicians. Now, I'm just going to give a little backstory and then ask you this question, because politically, the developers used to have to be required 50% affordable housing, 50% anything else. And then some political change happened to now it's 25% affordable housing and then 75% luxury mansions. The reason that I was given was because of cost due to the cost of bringing in materials and then the labor, and then they said that they're not making any money. Now I'm not sure where this particular developer was located, yet Autumn had mentioned that these developers coming in from elsewhere. It kind of gives us less say in what it is that we need for this land. So with these sort of situations that we're looking at, how is it that we can get more affordable housing, more workforce housing? Like, because I know it's actually been a topic in the county council recently too. So what can you share with us?
Well, Daniel, I've been working on this for over 17 years. This topic, and like how you said, it went from 50% down to 25%, and then it was done at the county level. All those hotels, like on North Shore of West Maui, all those hotels started off being 50%. That had to be workforce housing, affordable housing. And then all of a sudden, by the time we got to the second or third phase, they brought it down to 25%. And then with all of that, they're still supposed to have houses built, actual homes built, but none of it was built, zero. The developers settle with the in lieu of and housing credits. And that is where they pay a certain amount of money for each house that they're supposed to build. But when I looked up into it, it's like $20,000 per house. So anybody should know, it's not going to take $20,000 to build one house. So then that's so in my eyes, we got ripped off. And so I say we have to, again, I hopefully be one of those politicians where you guys can yell at me, and I'll make sure that I'll let everybody know what's going on about this. And that's why we have such a shortage of housing, because like you were saying, they give excuses about too much money for the materials to ship in and to do that. Well, if that was the case, then don't give them the the right to build that project or that hotel. Just say no then. If you can build the homes, the affordable homes, then you cannot have your hotel. You cannot have your $1 million development. Zero. You gotta build your workforce housing first, and then I think that'll help us to kind of get something going. And a lot of they don't hold that to the developer. And we did bring up Makilikai, but Makilikai was going to do that. That's one good thing they was going to do, is build all the workforce housing first. That's one good positive. But like I said, the location was wrong. I hope I want to answer your question, brother.
Yeah, mahalo. Thank you. I'll open up the question to the next person.
Yes, I have a question. This is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. Yes. When we talk about building more luxury homes and hotels, we really don't need any more luxury homes or hotels. Why can't we just do the affordable housing and not do all the luxury hotels?
You're correct. So I've been trying to work hard on trying to hold all these hotels that's supposed to owe us these homes to get the county and the state to hold them accountable and have them build these homes.
Yes.
And then we won't be in this, in this situation.
Yeah.
We don't need to build any more hotels or $1 million homes. We're going to just be building affordable workforce housing.
Right.
And we're not going to be building any more $1 million homes or luxury hotels. Thank you for the question. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Would you support a building moratorium on structures, on anything in West Maui that's not affordable housing until they can figure out their housing and infrastructure problem?
So sorry, I had a bing when you talk. What was that?
That's okay. Would you support a moratorium on building anything in West Maui that's not affordable housing until they can figure out their infrastructure and their housing problem?
100%. I back that up. 100%. Totally. No problem there. Yeah. Nobody got to call me up for that one. I got them. Yeah.
Has there ever been any history of building moratoriums in Maui, or that you know that there has?
There has,
As long-
yeah.
Oh, okay. It's good to know. It's a possibility then.
Yeah.
Maricela, your mic is off. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Jamila, yeah, you need to unmute your mic and then you can ask your question.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask what ideas you have for Maui to become less dependent on tourism. How that path would, how would that develop? Well, how would we focus our energy or?
Yeah, I like that question.
Yeah.
Kind of like, again, the pandemic wake us up a little bit, you know, and kind of educate us. Like I said, I'm gonna drop her name again. Autumn Nest and the Maui Hub, they're awesome. They're starting to get into agriculture. And I talked to this to a lot of my constituents. I gotta learn how to say that word. But that if we're gonna get into farming, you know, make farming become one of our stronger industries, we gotta kind of learn how we can get them to be able to live on farming, on farmers' pay. You know, like how we can, you know, actually get them there. So, but what Autumn Nest is doing right now is awesome, just to get farmers actively feeding our local people, and then we can depend on that industry more than we do with tourism. Like I said, before we were farming, we was doing sugarcane and pineapple. We were doing all of that, so we was farming before. So I think if we can get slowly back into that and make it more where we can feed the local people instead of they only feeding the hotels. You know, that's why a lot of them run into trouble right now, because the hotels was their number one customers. You know what I mean? So if we can get it to where the people can start buying local instead of going to Costco and buying the ones that are coming from the mainland, and so we can get farming going that way. Like pretty much like I was saying in the beginning, back to the neighbors helping neighbors. We all take care of each other. You know what I mean? Like the Aupua before, the hunters bring down the meat. The guys in the middle take care of the poi. The guys on the beach take care of fish, and everybody take care of each other. So I think farming would be a good one for trying to get into, to dip into at least, you know, and try to check it out instead of just doing tourism.
And so what's happening with all the land where the pineapple and the sugarcane was being cultivated?
In Lahaina right now, again, development. They're trying to develop. There's a big project coming out here right down in Honoko'ai. The Pulelehua, Kapulua had couple that they was trying to push out in up north. So right now, we in dire straight for one community garden, you know, where all the farmers and all the guys in Lahaina can go over there and start growing things. And you know, because right now, you look the pandemic, is everybody growing stuff in the yard. So maybe if we can give them a community plot, they can start really growing. So the land, yeah, right now the land is either empty or been developed by $1 million homes. And yeah, and then now we get a couple developments that is on standby.
So I have a question, and that is if this land was zoned agricultural, so if we stop them from rezoning it, then they wouldn't be able to come in. Is that an option?
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Again, it's going to fall on the politicians, like our county, at the county level. They gotta, you know, stop changing the zoning. You know, back in the days, they did they had that group that was, you know, organizing how they're going to what can be agriculture, what can be urban. Why don't we just follow that map? Why we gotta change them every time? You know what I mean? Stick to that map and follow it.
Yeah, it seems like we have to find a way that they can't go away from the original plan.
Right.
To
And
make
it's
it-
you're totally
Mhm.
correct. And then I think it falls on us, the people,
Yeah.
to put pressure on our politicians and telling them, hey, this is what we feel, and that, please, that kind. And like I said, you guys don't need to call me up because I'm gonna make sure it's not gonna happen. Period. But it falls on us people, and that's why I said I'm gonna need all the people. It's gonna take a village to take care of this. Even though I'm the guy gonna be in the seat, it's gonna be the village seat. It'll be everybody's seat.
Mhm. And I have another question about the 5G. It's coming out that it's not really safe, and if there's any way we can stop it until we know that it's safe, just like we were doing with the GMOs. We're
Yeah.
trying to stop that.
Yeah. The 5G. There was this two guys that came over here in Kapalua, and they had tried to have a meeting here. Which was so quiet. Nobody was, no advertisement, nobody. But I surprisingly got a wind of it, and I went up there, and I was the only person there for the first 10 minutes. But after that, then maybe another 10 minutes, then a couple more people came. So a total of 7 of us was there, and we all live here in the Pili, Kapulua, and all the stuff. And we told these guys we don't want it. And then they say, oh, it's safe, it's this and that. But they say, well, where's the documents? They didn't have not one document showing that it was safe. All they said was, oh, we're going to have a fence going around. Nobody's going to come around. It's going to be so safe. And then the place they was going to put it here is right above my house and right below Maui Prep, an elementary school. They're going to put it right under the kind. So we told them straight up, no. And then they were saying, oh, the people wants better reception. I thought, sorry. You like go better reception, you go towards Lahaina. Because out here is more country. We like not having reception. We like having the quietness. So no build your 5G over here. And again, so to answer your question, is we gotta start doing that more in our own communities and stopping. If every community can stop them, we can stop these guys from building one of them.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel.
Okay. I love what you're saying about having the community more involved. And you have from what I understand now, a history of really making these forward things, of inviting the mayor to come and kuka. We have, we have the community needing to be more involved than perhaps has been done a bit in the past. So what I'm curious about is, in your experience with getting these conversations going, getting the community together, or getting the right people to come to the table, what can you share with us about the transparency that you could create within the seat that you're running for?
So the people coming to me?
I mean, people coming to you, or you coming to the people? Like, either the mountain comes to Muhammad, or you bring Muhammad to the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, things need to happen.
Yeah. Everything that crosses my desk and everything that comes up to me, I'm going to bring it, especially to my District 10, guarantee. But Maui as a whole, so that Maui can be heard in Honolulu, and hopefully Hawaii hears what we're saying. And so, yeah, I'm open book to everybody come telling me, educating the community, getting more involved. Yeah, and again, the capital is in Honolulu, so if we can get more people to fly over there, like again, when I was in the ILWU, we used to fly a bunch of people, the community. So that's what I would do, just open my doors to everybody.
Right, because I mean, in these times right now with COVID and the recovery of that economically and socially, it seems that there's been a lot of certain laws that have been sort of taking away a bit of the transparency. And you know, a lot of people, including myself, would say, "Hey, there's something wrong here," you know.
Yeah, and you're totally correct, because all of a sudden you get the secrecy up in the state level. You know what I mean? So if I was in office right now, it would have no secrecy. Everybody would know what's going on every day in that office, especially District 10. Yeah, I mean, I'm so active in political for the past 20 years, and I don't even know what's happening in the Capitol, you know, being active. Can you imagine a person that really don't pay attention to politics? They really don't know. When I get into office, I'm gonna make sure everybody know what's happening inside there. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty much, I'm gonna be the eyes, the ears, and the voice of District 10.
Right on. Mahalo, Nicole.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question about, right now it's beautiful because there's no tourists here, and me driving to the west side to surf is a breeze. But
Yeah.
So the highway connecting you guys to the rest of Maui is very much a state issue. I remember when they wanted, you know, I remember camping with you in Oluwalu. That was a big deal. What do you suggest? What do you suggest about what do you suggest we do with the poly? Do you have any ideas?
The poly itself, I don't think we touched that thing. You know what I mean? I don't say we touched that, but
what do we do to make your guys' life easier then?
yeah, I know. Again, there's we looked into, again, since we was camping at Olowalu, we was looking into moving the highway inwards. You know, moving it inwards again for the whole sea rise, and you know, and we don't need to build these sea walls and build it inwards, and then do it smart though, because this bypass that we get is not on bypass. You know what I mean? The state, again, you know, when they get off, I can be the state. The state got to listen to the people of Maui and the people of Lahaina, and they never. And so, yeah, so I think, you know, my idea would be to move it inwards. That's the first start, but we got to look more into other things. You know, what else is there? Do more research. That's what I would say.
For anyone who doesn't know, I just want to give you a quick run background on that. The state was going to build a seawall around Oluwalu to protect the highway. People that have never set foot in that area of Maui were making decisions from their office in Honolulu, and Junya was one of a bunch of people that we decided, no, that's unacceptable, and we're going to camp there and not let the machines in. And they actually ended up, us being there forced them to get on an airplane and come over. There was a lot of people besides Junya and I. We were like by no means the leaders of this, but Junya was there with the rest of us, and they got on a plane and came over and looked at it and realized all they had to do was repaint the lines on the highway to buy them like multiple years and not have to build a seawall. So again, I want to vouch for Junya that when the time comes, he'll just be there.
And as of today, that spot is still protected. The water does not come on the highway. Every place else we get on seawall, it comes over.
Exactly.
So it's plain and simple. Never need the seawall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did that seawall ever pass an environmental impact study? I mean,
it didn't. It was passed in an emergency during what is it? One of the hurricane.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh my God.
Yeah. That's what happens.
That shouldn't have been deemed an emergency.
That's how big construction works.
Well, if we're finishing up with our questions for now, we're going to be having another whole interview with Junya. That'll be on the 5th of May, and we'll be having all of the representatives from District 10 on May 5th. That'll be starting at 4 p.m. And then Junya will be asked a series of questions from our panel. And we have a very distinguished panel. We have Autumn Ness is one of the panel participants. We have Dick Mayer, Mark Sheehan, we have Lucianne Dene, and Sean Lester. So we have a group of people who can really ask very insightful questions and also help, maybe if someone is trying to skirt a question, really dig a little bit deeper and really support us so that we can fully understand where the different candidates stand at this point in time and why it's important then to support them versus maybe some other candidates who may not have the same platform or objectives or may have a different type of loyalty, especially when we look at funding sources. So again, it's very important for us to be informed, and we'll be starting that this coming Thursday on the 30th. That'll start at 5 p.m. and that'll be for District 8. And then again, every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll be having these interviews. And again, with our panel, and we have other members who also will be participating in that. We have a whole array of very important questions that will affect Maui County for generations to come. So it's very important that we understand where people stand at this point in time. I also want to give a shout out to Bruce Douglas, who put on a wonderful event at Maui Earth Day. It was, to me, a real expression of community coming together. And as we looked at the directory of all the people who spoke, to me, I looked at that and I said, there's a Pono network right there. So we're going to be putting that directory together so that you can access it at a later time, and you can just go directly and learn about each one of the speakers, and there'll be also a link to their website. So it's a way for all of us who have this progressive vision and who have this progressive intention to really network and come together and support each other, especially during this challenging time. And we can do that in a very creative way, just like we're going to be doing with these interviews. And by the way, the interviews are going to be on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Akaku. And you can ask questions then when you're on Facebook Live, and we can ask candidates questions right then from you. So it's a great way to participate. It's a great way to be totally transparent about this whole interview process and why it's important then to support specific candidates. Thank you for watching, and mahalo.
Mahalo.
Thanks, guys.